Once upon a time, nestled deep in the heart of a dense forest, there was a mysterious village that few people knew about. This village was isolated from the rest of the world, and its inhabitants were fiercely protective of their way of life. It was said that the village was founded by a group of travelers who stumbled upon the area by accident. The travelers were searching for a new place to settle down, and they were immediately captivated by the beauty of the forest and the serenity of the surrounding landscape. They decided to make this place their home, and over time, they built a small community that grew into a thriving village. The villagers were an enigmatic bunch. They were friendly enough, but they were also incredibly secretive. They rarely interacted with outsiders, and when they did, they always kept their conversations brief and to the point. They were known for their unusual customs and traditions, which included elaborate ceremonies and rituals that outsiders could never quite understand. Despite the villagers' secrecy, rumors about the village began to spread. Some people said that the villagers were witches, while others claimed that they were hiding a terrible secret. Still, others believed that the village was cursed, and that anyone who dared to enter its borders would never be seen again. One day, a young woman named Emily decided to investigate the rumors for herself. She was a curious soul, and she couldn't resist the allure of the mysterious village. She packed a bag and set off into the forest, determined to find the hidden village. As she walked deeper into the woods, the trees grew denser and the air grew colder. Emily felt as though she were being watched, and she began to wonder if she had made a mistake in coming to the forest. But she pressed on, determined to find the village and uncover its secrets. Eventually, Emily stumbled upon the village. It was small and quaint, with houses made of wood and thatched roofs. The villagers eyed her warily as she approached, but Emily smiled and introduced herself. To her surprise, the villagers welcomed her with open arms, and she was invited to stay in the village for a few days. Over the course of her stay, Emily learned more about the village and its customs. She discovered that the villagers were not witches, nor were they hiding a terrible secret. Instead, they were a group of people who had chosen to live apart from the rest of the world in order to preserve their way of life. The villagers shared their food and stories with Emily, and she began to feel at home in their midst. But as the days went on, she also began to notice strange things happening in the village. She saw villagers disappearing into the woods at night, and she heard whispers of a secret ceremony that would take place in the coming days. Emily couldn't help but be curious, and she decided to investigate. She followed the villagers into the woods one night, and she discovered a clearing where a group of villagers were gathered around a strange stone altar. They were chanting in an ancient language, and Emily could feel the power of their words reverberating through the air. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck the altar, and the ground shook beneath Emily's feet. She stumbled back, startled, and when she looked up, she saw a figure emerging from the smoke and debris. It was a woman, dressed in robes of silver and gold. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and she seemed to emanate power and wisdom. She spoke to the villagers in a voice that was both commanding and comforting, and Emily realized that she was witnessing something truly extraordinary. As the ceremony came to a close, the woman turned to Emily and smiled. "You are welcome in our village, Emily," she said. "But know that we are ancient people, with ways and traditions that are beyond your understanding. You have seen a glimpse of our power, but there is much more that we cannot reveal to outsiders." Emily nodded, feeling both awed and a little frightened by what she had witnessed. She thanked the villagers for their hospitality and made her way back to her own world, carrying with her memories of the mysterious village and its inhabitants. For years after her visit, Emily remained haunted by the memory of the village. She couldn't help but wonder about the secrets that the villagers held, and about the power that she had witnessed that night in the woods. She knew that she would never be able to fully understand the mystery of the village, but she also knew that she would always be drawn to its enigmatic charm. In time, Emily grew old and passed away, but her stories of the mysterious village lived on. Travelers who passed through the forest would speak of the village in hushed tones, and children would dare each other to venture into the woods to try and find it. But no one ever quite managed to uncover the secrets of the village. It remained a mysterious and magical place, hidden away in the heart of the forest, and its inhabitants remained fiercely protective of their way of life. And so, the legend of the mysterious village continued to grow, enchanting and intriguing all those who heard its tale. As time passed, the mysterious village continued to thrive, and its inhabitants remained as secretive as ever. Outsiders were still welcomed with cautious hospitality, but the villagers kept their distance and continued to maintain their customs and traditions. Despite the villagers' attempts at isolation, however, the outside world began to encroach upon their hidden corner of the forest. Roads were built, tourists came to visit the area, and rumors about the mysterious village continued to spread. As the years went on, the villagers found it increasingly difficult to maintain their way of life. They were forced to adapt to the changing world, and many of their ancient traditions began to fall by the wayside. But even as they changed, they remained fiercely protective of their secrets, and they continued to keep outsiders at a distance. One day, a group of researchers came to the forest, hoping to learn more about the mysterious village. They were scientists, archaeologists, and anthropologists, and they were determined to uncover the secrets of the enigmatic community. At first, the villagers were wary of the researchers, but over time, they came to trust them. The researchers were respectful of the villagers' customs and traditions, and they were genuinely interested in learning more about their way of life. Together, the researchers and the villagers worked to uncover the secrets of the village. They explored the surrounding forests, dug up ancient artifacts, and recorded the villagers' stories and traditions. As they worked, they began to unravel the mystery of the village. They discovered that the villagers were descendants of an ancient civilization that had once inhabited the area. Their ancestors had been skilled in the ways of magic and mysticism, and they had built the village as a way to protect their knowledge and traditions from the outside world. Over time, the villagers' knowledge had dwindled, and many of their ancient practices had been lost. But they remained fiercely protective of their secrets, and they continued to pass down what little knowledge they had to their children and grandchildren. The researchers were amazed by what they had learned, and they felt privileged to have been allowed to glimpse the world of the mysterious village. They published their findings in academic journals and books, and the legend of the village began to spread even further. Today, the mysterious village still exists, hidden away in the heart of the forest. Its inhabitants continue to live their quiet lives, keeping their traditions and customs alive in the face of an ever-changing world. But the village is no longer quite so mysterious as it once was. The secrets of its past have been uncovered, and the knowledge of its inhabitants has been shared with the world. And yet, despite all that has been learned, there is still an air of magic and mystery surrounding the village, reminding us that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the world we live in.